What's going on, Knicks fans? We have a loaded show for you today, but I want to kick things off with the question. Who do you have winning the NBA Finals this year? Do you got the Warriors, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green? Or do you got Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown winning their first NBA title? Type GSW for the Golden State Warriors, or if you're rocking with the Boston Celtics, go down in the comments section, type BOS. Welcome into New York Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green, and in today's video, we are proudly sponsored by Aura, an all-in-one digital safety tool where you can get started with a 14-day free trial to protect yourself online. Because look, we do more online now than ever. You can get hooked up with them at aura.com/chatsports. I'll put the link to that in the comments section and description of this video, and I'll tell you more about Aura later on in today's show. But in today's show, I told you, it was a loaded show, and we got a lot of Knicks news and rumors to break down around the latest Donovan Mitchell trade rumors, and if the Knicks actually have a chance to land him, and Jalen Brunson, is he going back to the Dallas Mavericks and NBA free agency, and are the Knicks interested in trading up in the 2022 NBA draft to land Jaden Ivey? And the last topic on today's show, the Knicks, are they interested in trading for D'Angelo Russell? We're going to break it all down, but first, let's start with Donovan Mitchell. And according to the latest Bleacher Report, that sounded weird, 2 reports in a row, a trade for Donovan Mitchell going to the New York Knicks wearing the blue and orange seems very unlikely because there's other teams that are interested, and they may be able to offer more, like the Miami Heat. We all know the Knicks have been long linked to Donovan Mitchell trade rumors, and it's been reported and noted that the number one move that Leon Rose and the New York Knicks wants to make this offseason is landing Donovan Mitchell in a trade. Thing is, are they going to be able to offer the best trade package to land Spida going to the New York Knicks? This is what Jake Fisher of Bleacher Report put out earlier this week about the latest Donovan Mitchell trade rumors. He said, league sources regularly mention New York's main offseason focus is to improve at the point guard position, but acquiring Utah's other all-star Donovan Mitchell remains highly unlikely. If Mitchell were to ultimately request a trade from the Jazz, he still has 3 full years committed on his contract before a player option in 2025 and 2026. Plus, there's healthy skepticism around the NBA that New York's best offer for Mitchell would trump other teams' pursuits, such as a potential package for Miami that would theoretically center around Tyler Hero plus other salary and multiple first-round picks. Look, if the Miami Heat are going to include Tyler Hero and a Donovan Mitchell trade, that's bad news for the New York Knicks. Tyler Hero is going to be the best player in a trade coming from the Miami Heat, and if the Knicks were to offer a trade, the best they could probably offer is Julius Randle. I don't think they want to give up R.J. Barrett in a trade for Donovan Mitchell. They want to pair those two together. So a trade offer of Julius Randle, Cam Reddish, maybe you throw in a guy like Emmanuel Quickly. I wouldn't include him in a trade, and you throw in a couple first-round picks. Is that going to be better than a deal the Miami Heat could offer with Tyler Hero and multiple first-round picks? And maybe they include a guy like Bam Adebayo. We know the Heat are going to go all in this offseason to get the absolute best out of Jimmy Butler as his career starts to hinder the back half of his NBA career. That's the latest on Donovan Mitchell, but I want to end this topic with a question for all the New York Knicks fans watching today's video. And think about everything you'd have to include. Julius Randle, maybe R.J. Barrett, maybe Emmanuel Quickly, Quentin Grimes, Cam Reddish, a couple first-round picks, and then answer this question. Do you want the Knicks to trade for Donovan Mitchell? Type T for trade, or if you don't, you can go down in the comment section and type P for pass. And look, if a Knicks trade happens, whether it's for Donovan Mitchell or D'Angelo Russell, or they make a sign and trade for Jalen Brunson, we are going to be breaking it down on this channel, youtube.com/KnicksTV. We are on the cusp of getting to 7,000 subscribers, 7K strong on the channel. Help us get there. Go down right now, hit that big red button. Let's do it for Carmelo Anthony, 3 to the dome, 7,000 subscribers here on Knicks Now. Look, we offer almost free daily videos around the latest Knicks news and rumors. So if you love the Knicks and you like watching Knicks content, we are your one-stop shop on YouTube. Lock us in. Go down right now and hit that big red button. Story number 2 on today's show. Jalen Brunson and the latest free agency rumors surrounding him. It sounds like Brunson is going to be going back to the Dallas Mavericks, and it's all about the dollars because in the open market, a team can only offer Jalen Brunson 4 years. But the Dallas Mavericks, they can offer him a 5-year contract. And look, the Knicks, we know are interested in Jalen Brunson. Dating back to before this season, there was a trade offer the Knicks made. And then at the NBA trade deadline, there were a lot of chirps that the Knicks wanted to make a move for Jalen Brunson. They wanted to clear the salary of Alec Burks and Evan Fournier and Nerlens Noel to land a guy like Jalen Brunson. And look, Brunson, he could sign a deal worth 5 years and $125 million. And that's a lot of money for a player that hasn't really proven that he can be a face of the franchise. I like Jalen Brunson a lot. I'd like to see him in the Mecca, in Madison Square Garden. I almost think he's one of the best point guard options in free agency. I think he fits the scheme, and the stylistic approach that Tom Thibodeau wants to play with the New York Knicks. But this is what Jake Fisher had to say in his awesome article he put out earlier this week on Bleacher Report. He said, speaking of Brunson, in the meantime, there's a growing sense among league personnel that Jalen Brunson will return to Dallas following the Mavericks' sprint to the Western Conference Finals. After Dallas's defeat to Golden State, Mavericks governor Mark Cuban reaffirmed to Mark Stein the confidence the team personnel have projected in keeping Brunson. Dallas indeed can offer him an additional 5th year and therefore more money than any rival, especially New York. With Brunson's next salary expected to exceed $20 million annually, perhaps John Collins' recent 5-year, $125 million extension in Atlanta will be a good benchmark for Brunson to remain in Dallas. And look, the Knicks, if they want to offer Brunson that 4-year, $100 million, or 4 years, $110 million, they're going to have to clear salaries cap space. They tried to do it at the NBA trade deadline by getting rid of guys like Nerlens Noel, Alec Burks, and the guys that have longer contracts on this team. But the one thing the Knicks can offer Jalen Brunson that the Dallas Mavericks can't is to be the face of the franchise, to be the lead guard. He's going to have to be a sidekick, a Robin to Luka Doncic's Batman in Dallas if he's going to remain there. But if I'm Jalen Brunson, it's going to be hard to turn down 5 years and $125 million in guaranteed dollars. Look, I love Jalen Brunson. I would love for the Knicks to sign him, but at the end of the day, they don't really have the money to do it, and I think it would have to be a sign and trade involving a guy like Mitchell Robinson, but it doesn't sound like that's going to happen. So answer this question for me. Type S for sign, or you can go down in the comments section and type P for pass. Off the top of today's show, we told you about Aura, today's presenting sponsor, and now we're going to go and take a deep dive into what they offer. Look, they're going to protect you online, and you can start with a 14-day free trial. They offer financial fraud protection, identity theft protection, online and device security, as well as family plans to protect up to 5 people. We do more now online than we ever have before in the past. And look, you need to stay online and stay secure. Protect your information because the scammers out there are getting smarter every single day. So get hooked up with Aura. Go to aura.com/chatsports and get started with a 14-day free trial that you can cancel at any time for absolutely no cost. Look, an all-in-one digital safety for your whole family. Get started with them, aura.com/chatsports. Story number 3 on today's show. Are the Knicks interested in trading up in the 2022 NBA draft to go and land the best point guard, the best guard in this draft, and Jaden Ivey? I love what Jaden Ivey can do on the basketball court. He's a 3-level scorer. He can get it done as a playmaker, and he can get it done as a lead scorer. This past year at Purdue, where he played in 36 games, he averaged 17 points. He averaged 5 rebounds, just over 3 assists, and he shot 35.8% from three-point land. Jaden Ivey, in my opinion, is the best point guard in this draft. He's not your prototypical point guard that's going to get you 10, 11, or 12 assists per night, but he can be the face of the franchise. He can get you 20 to 25 points per night. And him, alongside R.J. Barrett, it would be a young backcourt along with Emmanuel quickly coming off the bench. That is something that I would be very interested in if I was Leon Rose and the New York Knicks. It's time for the Knicks to make a move for a point guard. If you can't get Donovan Mitchell and you can't get Jalen Brunson, the best next move might be trading up to go and land Jaden Ivey. Sports Illustrated, they put out this trade idea and about what the Knicks could do to get up and move up in the NBA draft. Because Ivey, he's not going to be there when the Knicks are on the clock. They're going to have to move up inside the lottery to go and get him. So they offered this idea of a trade. The Knicks, they would receive Richaun Holmes, the starting center for the Sacramento Kings, the 2022 first-round pick, number 4 in the NBA draft. But the Knicks would have to ship out Cam Reddish, Kemba Walker, their number 11 pick this year, and next year's first-round pick, which was formerly owned by the Dallas Mavericks in that Kristaps Porzingis trade. But it would be top 10 protected, which means if that pick landed inside the top 10, the Knicks would keep it, and then the 2024 first-round pick would then go to the Sacramento Kings. But I want to ask you this question. Who do you think wins this trade? Would it be the Knicks because they get to move up and go get Jaden Ivey, or would it be the Kings because they get the 11th pick, a future first, and Cam Reddish? Type NYK if you think the Knicks are winners, or SAC if you think the Sacramento Kings are winners of this deal. Last story on today's Loaded Show. I told you we had a lot to break down. Are the Knicks interested in D'Angelo Russell as a trade target and as a backup plan to no Donovan Mitchell, no Jalen Brunson, or Jaden Ivey? This is what Jake Fisher had to say about D'Angelo Russell. He said, as the Knicks work down the list of their point guard options, rival executives have pointed to Minnesota Timberwolves starter D'Angelo Russell as a potential lower-level trade target. New York's front office recently added former Minnesota president of basketball operations, Gerson Rosas, who once chased Russell in free agency and later traded Andrew Wiggins to Golden State for the creative point guard. I'm a big fan of D'Angelo Russell and what he can do on the hardwood. My biggest concern, though, is the fact that he's only played in 65 games this past year. 42 the year before that, and 45 games the year before that. Also, the field goal percentage. He's not that efficient of a player. He's somewhat of a chucker when it comes to a point guard. This past year, 41% from the field, then 43, then 42, and 43. He's never shot above 47% from the field in a season. But if you look at what he did in 2018 and 19 when he was a part of the Brooklyn Nets and averaged 21 points and 7 assists and shot 43% from the field and 37% from three, was an NBA All-Star, he showed you that he can lead a team to the playoffs. And if you can go out and get him, maybe a straight-up trade of Julius Randle for a guy like D'Angelo Russell, I would be all in on that as a move I think the Knicks should make this offseason. But we'll end the show on this question. I'm an Emmanuel Quickley stan. I love IQ. I think he's a point guard, and I'm excited to see how he continues to progress in the NBA. But pick one of these guys to be the starting point guard for the Knicks next year. Would you rather have Emmanuel Quickley? Type IQ. Or if you think D'Angelo Russell is the guy for the Knicks, type DR in the comment section. I want to say thank you to everybody that's clicked on today's video. We had a lot of news and rumors we had to catch you guys up on pertaining to the New York Knicks. So if you love what you saw today, like today's video and subscribe because we're trying to get to 7,000 subscribers on the channel. Do it for our guy, Hoodie Mello, 3 to the Dome, and I'll see you on the next New York Knicks Now.